I've been doing videos all day, and creating content and serving, basically, because I really want to start, creating more content and, adding more value with the knowledge that I've got. And I really didn't want to miss this opportunity to get onto Facebook and talk, hey Tammy, talk about, some of the things that I've personally gone through, but also from a practitioner point of view as a nutritionist, what some of the things you can do to if you've got skin problems. So in my late 20s, for those of you who don't know, I had a real big health scare when I was 26, so back in 2010, and I had my kidney removed. I had a tumor in my kidney, and it sort of happened all of a sudden, and I 5 days later I had to come out, and this put me on a big long path of asking questions, and ended up going and studying nutritional medicine. And this, I feel quite strongly about the fact that we shouldn't have to wait till we get that sort of wake-up call. Hey Remo, shouldn't have to wait till we get that sort of wake-up call before we get the message. But I really want to talk about my own skin experience today, because after that I decided in my late 20s to go off the oral contraceptive pill. I knew I had a lot of hormonal issues, and I'd also had adult acne pretty much my whole life, particularly in my teens. I then went on the pill as a late teenager or in my early 20s to fix my acne. This actually just masks a lot of the problems with hormonal issues, and a lot of women will go on the oral contraceptive pill for this reason. Obviously, women do it for contraception as well, but I just for me, I just did it because I didn't know any other way, and I just wanted a quick solution at that time. I then came off the pill in my late 20s, and I had really crazy hormones, and my skin just went ballistic, and it was really, really bad. And the truth of the matter is, if you have skin issues, you've got gut issues. So whether it's acne, whether it's psoriasis, whether it's eczema, any type of dermatitis, you have skin issues. It could be food intolerances, it could be a combination of particularly with acne, there's a big connection between insulin and regulating your insulin. It could be a whole different range of things, but this has been my own struggle, and it's probably the thing that I struggle with the most. And if I'm not looking after myself, my skin is still very susceptible, and it goes up and down, but it has definitely leveled out and become a lot more happy, particularly in the last 12 months. I've done a lot of the gut work. I've also done a lot of emotional work on myself, and working on myself and working on my old stories and belief systems, because this can also affect your skin as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. I've actually got quite a few things I can share because of my own experience, but also because I've studied it, and I've got a real interest in skin for that reason, because I know how painful it can be and embarrassing. And I know that, you just, when you're not looking good, or when you're self-conscious, you want to run and hide, and it can be a perpetual cycle of just, you're always using makeup and covering it up. So I've got a few tips that you can use as Hey Nicole, to help your skin. So regardless of whether you, whatever type of skin condition you have. So the first of all, the thing is, you've got to heal the gut when it comes to skin conditions. So understanding what leaky gut is. So leaky gut, the way I like to explain it to clients is, we have a permeable gut lining, and it's designed to actually open and close. So just pretend this is one cell and this is another, and they're linked like this. So when we eat food, actually they open a little bit and then they close. Hey Michelle. Oh, two Michelles, how you going? So our gut opens and closes, open and closes. And so what happens is, when we have leaky gut, is that these tight junctions in our small intestine are more permeable, and they're a bit more like this. And then you have undigested food particles that come through, as well as bacteria and all sorts of other things, and it causes an inflammation response. So that's the first thing. If you've got any type of skin condition or any type of struggle with your skin, you're guaranteed going to have gut issues, and addressing that leaky gut is really, really important. it actually is the first thing. I will always work on the gut if I work with anyone, because it's always one of the underlying drivers with any type of health condition. So working on that gut. And so the way that I work on that gut is cleaning up the diet. So removing all chemicals in the diet, eating a really clean diet. Hey, Linda. Making sure that you're eating natural whole foods like grandma used to eat, eating unprocessed oils, so whole oils. Hey, Bianca. You know, eating like grandma, unrefined fats, so avoiding industrialized seed oils, because these cause inflammation and can actually cause problems with the skin. So when I say industrialized seed oils, I mean anything like canola oil, rice bran oil, which a lot of people think is healthy, by the way. What else? Margarine, anything that's man-made and hasn't actually been around for that long. So you want to go back to more traditional fats. Cleaning up the diet, trying to get in as much organic food as you possibly can. The reason being is that the pesticides in organic food actually causes leaky gut. I can keep talking and talking and talking. So there are things like working on that. Removing wheat is a huge one because the gut, gluten in the wheat will actually cause that gut to become more permeable. So if you want to heal the gut, you really have to remove the gluten from the diet. And dairy is another big one. And anyone that has any type of skin condition often will really react well from removing dairy from the diet, particularly people with acne. And I found this myself. I removed dairy from the diet. And one of the reasons being is dairy actually encourages insulin to be released or causes an insulin spike. And when insulin with acne is promoted, it will then have a knock-on effect and ultimately cause more oil from the sebaceous gland to be released. And therefore, you know, you're getting more oil released mixed with dirt, and it's oxidizing, and then you're getting infections in the hair follicle. That's pretty much what it is. It's the same with, you know, often psoriasis. Psoriasis is autoimmune, but with eczema and things like that can also be dairy as well. So removing all sorts of dairy. Some people find that at a later stage, once healing has occurred, adding in some ghee and adding in some butter is totally doable. Like, I can do butter and ghee, no worries, but anything else and too much of it, I'm just like, no, I get a blowout. So that's something that can be really helped. The other thing that can really help for good quality skin is some really basic nutrients. So zinc is really important for healthy skin production, as is vitamin C, which you can all get from food sources, but supplements sometimes can also help. Collagen, which you can get from collagen supplement or gelatin, or also good old bone broth. So including bone broth in your cooking is going to really help if you're not vegetarian or vegan. Because there's collagen in the bones, and then that actually helps heal the lining of the gut, but it's also really good for the skin. I've been using marine collagen lately, and I've been finding that really awesome for skin. I can actually really notice it. I've been sticking in smoothies and sticking in my coffee or whatever. So there are some really simple things that you can use to improve your skin. So if you are watching and you have any questions, just pop them in the comments so that I can answer them as they come up. What else is really important? Alcohol actually has quite an effect on skin too, and particularly aging, because alcohol will cause oxidative stress, as will sugar. And for that reason, oxidative stress is basically having too many free radicals and not enough antioxidants to mop up and balance it out. And this can cause problems with skin as well. And you do notice it, I have to say, with people when they get to a certain age, and you can tell if they drink a lot and their diet probably isn't, you know, got enough vegetables in it. And, you know, alcohol also has an effect on people's quality of sleep, and all these things are connected. So really important for skin. One thing that some people might find particularly problematic with acne is caffeine. And so sometimes cutting out caffeine, because caffeine will actually spike your cortisol, and cortisol will then cause an insulin response. And so some people who are particularly sensitive to caffeine will find that cutting out caffeine for a particular period of time will actually be really beneficial. I think I'm very much on the cusp. I think I can push it and go too far. I think I've probably done enough healing now that I seem to be okay, but if I'm burning the candle and I start having too much coffee, it does actually affect my skin. So there's lots of really simple things that you can do to improve your quality of your skin. And the most, simplest, easy way is eating more real, fresh, living, live foods that are full of antioxidants and going to basically prevent the aging process. That's what antioxidants do. And it's when you have too many free radicals versus antioxidants that this is when the whole oxidative stress or stress on the body occurs, and you start to get health issues as a result of this. But it can also cause skin issues and that type of thing. So the other thing that I think is really important is drinking really good quality clean water. I harp on about this all the time. People think I'm a little bit crazy, but there is a whole array of toxic chemicals in the water, regardless of where you live, that including things like mercury, copper is a big one. A lot of people have too much copper and not enough zinc. You need zinc for healthy skin. So heavy metals, there's plastics in the water. We also know there's hormones in the water. There's, there's also, I heard the other day that there's even, traces of antidepressants in the water, all sorts of things. So drinking good quality clean water, really, really important, particularly for good skin, and making sure that you're drinking enough. And when you're drinking it, you're sipping it throughout the day, not gulping down 2 litre in one go, because it'll just flush out. So for adequate hydration, particularly for skin, it's really important to continually sip on your water, because you will absorb it better, and then it will actually go into the cell rather than downing the water. That's probably one of the best tips that and the simplest tips I can give you. And this is true because I went to my chiro the other day and she said, oh gosh, that tip that you did in your group was really good, because she's in my coaching group. And she said, when I sip water throughout the day, I don't need to go to the toilet as much, but when I'm in practice and I down water, I then I'm running to the bathrooms, which sort of goes, and I find the same thing. Hey, Shelley, that, sipping on water actually is going to be absorbed a lot better. I think that's it. I don't think I have any other. Are you guys giving me comments or not? They're my hot tips for skin, and that's how I found, that's what I found useful. Cutting out dairy, cutting out gluten. I've had clients that have had skin problems. Hi. Yeah, and they're the things that I find the most beneficial. Removing the sugar, all the obvious things. I've got one more thing. So my skincare routine, which I've been doing some video blogs about as well, but I actually use a thing called jojoba oil on my skin, and when I want to wipe my makeup off, I'll either remove my makeup with coconut oil a makeup pad, or I will put this on, rub it all over, and then get a hot washer and put it on face cloth, put it on my face, and it will sort of lift all the dirt and makeup off. And what can you do with your water to help? Does boiling... No. Okay, so actually, I'll answer that in a minute, Michelle. So I keep... so I wash this off, hot cloth, wash it off, have a shower, and I used to use... I go through phases, but at the moment I'm only using this to wash... same oils with, warm washer. Yeah, it's good. I find jojoba oil the best. And it lifts all the dirt off, and then you just wash your face with water. Oh, thanks. I've also got really good lighting today because I've been filming. So you wash it with water, and then literally I have this homemade spritzer I made, and I had a beautician that told me to make this, who uses natural products. filtered clean water with a couple of drops of essential orange oil, or you could use lemon, a couple drops of lavender, and a couple drops of geranium, all really good essential oils for the skin. And literally, it's like spray it, get your makeup pad, wipe it, it gets any excess dirt off. And then at night, like this is at night, and then I'll just use jojoba oil with a couple of drops of lavender and geranium, again for the skin, and just let it, like, pat it dry. And that's it. That is all I do. I don't do anything else. So that's been really helpful. And then in the morning, I just wash my skin with a washcloth. And I found, like, from an acne point of view, that's been the best for me. The simplest, the better. But the toner, making this toner, the thing is, it closes your pores. So before you put any makeup on or through there, it keeps you hydrated, but also closes your pores. You can, you know, I've got makeup on and I can, like, spray it, and it feels good. So even good for flights and things like that, because you dehydrate easily. But yeah, Michelle, back to your question, using, like, trying to filter water by just boiling doesn't actually work very well, because you've still got heavy metals. So boiling will actually remove, like, any pathogens, but there's also chlorine in water, there's fluoride in water. Chlorine will kill the off your gut bacteria. Fluoride competes for the uptake of iodine and selenium, which is really important for your selenium. Iodine. Yeah, no, sorry. It competes for the uptake of iodine, and that's really important for thyroid. You need iodine for healthy functioning thyroid. So, and then there's all heavy metals and stuff in the water as well, depending on where you live, as well as plastics. So you really do need to invest. I think one of the best things you can do for your health is invest in a good quality water filter, one that hopefully filters out most of the fluoride, for that reason. And people make the argument about teeth. What water do you use? Do you have one of those fancy Japanese thingies? No, I actually have a filter that's got a carbon filter in it. It's like, it sits on my bench and it's got a filter in it, and it slowly drips down. It wasn't expensive. It was like a couple $100. But you can get really amazing, like, reverse osmosis water filters that filter out everything. There's a water filter called Zazen, which is meant to be a really good filter as well, because it puts the minerals back into the water as well. And you can get them, I think they're about $500. But if you're going to put a new kitchen in, like, invest in a good water filter, because I'm really amazed by a lot of people that will spend a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, on getting a new kitchen and won't actually spend the money on a water filter. I'm like, that's the first thing I'd want in my new kitchen. So I hope that helps. That's my skin story. For scarring, I have found sometimes rosehip oil can be helpful, but I find if I put too much rosehip oil on my skin, it actually will make it break out a bit. But that's just, you know, trial and error, I guess. But rosehip oil is also really good for scarring. Mainly because I think of the high vitamin E content, and vitamin E is very good for scarring too. But I wouldn't be putting vitamin E on your face. I've definitely found with scars, like for my kidney scar, that vitamin E was really awesome. Okay, that is all. I hope it helps. If you've got any questions, please let me know, because I'd really love to know what type of content. Totally agree. Water changes. Zazen water filter is amazing. Yep. Yeah, if you do reverse osmosis, yeah, you do need to remineralize the water. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't tried a Zazen water filter. I've just heard a lot about them. But yeah, it takes a lot of time to find what's going to work with your budget, I guess. But I think it's really important. It's worth doing the investigation. When I first started, I had a Pure to Fill water filter, which was a jug, and I used to just filter my water through that, and that's pretty good. They test for contaminants, and they show you the tests and stuff, and I'd spoken to the guys about that. Pure to Fill is the website, or if you just Google Pure to Fill water filters. They've also got these drink bottles that have got filters in them, so I have one of those, so that when I'm out and about, if I fill my water up from the tap, it's filtered as well, so that's really helpful too. That's it. I hope it's helpful. I just wanted to share it with you. I've been really resisting not sharing my skin story because I've, you know, been embarrassed about it, I guess. But I think because I'm doing this 30 days of giving, I really decided I need to start giving my knowledge more and sharing, you know, stuff from my own experiences and just, you know, getting over myself. So can you pop the link in? Yeah, definitely, Shelley, I can. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions, even after this, you know, like, give me some thumbs up, and I will answer questions as well. Okay, and if you've got any other topics you want covered on a Facebook Live, let me know as well, because, you know, that would be cool too, because I probably need to do more of these. All right, I hope you all have a beautiful night, and I will see you soon. Bye. Oh.